Ever wondered if you could outrun a brown bear by simply running downhill? Well, it's more than just a fleeting thought for some. This humorous yet widely accepted myth has been circulating for ages. The idea is rooted in the belief that bears, with their bulky bodies and long claws, are likely to trip over themselves while running downhill. Picture that for a second. A bear tumbling down a hill, somersaulting over its own feet, all because of an unruly human who decided to bolt downhill. It's an entertaining image, isn't it? But is there any truth to it? Can you indeed outpace a brown bear in a downhill dash? Or is it just another tall tale spun around the campfire, leaving us with a chuckle and a distorted image of this magnificent beast? So, ready to learn if you should start practicing your downhill sprints? Time for the truth. Can you escape a brown bear by running downhill? Now this is a popular myth. You might have heard it around the campfire or read it in an adventure book. It's a thrilling idea, isn't it? But sadly, it's more fiction than fact. Here's the reality. Brown bears are not only powerful, but they're also surprisingly agile. They can sprint up to 30 miles per hour. That's faster than the world's fastest human. And here's the kicker. They can maintain these speeds whether they're charging uphill or barreling downhill. So, if you're thinking of outpacing a brown bear on a downhill slope, you might want to reconsider. In fact, running might trigger a chase instinct in the bear, turning a peaceful encounter into a high-speed pursuit. So when it comes to escaping a brown bear, it's better to stand your ground than to try and outrun it. So, maybe ditch the idea of a downhill escape plan. Ever thought brown bears are just voracious meat eaters? We don't blame you. It's an easy assumption to make, given how they're often portrayed in movies and TV shows. We see them hunting salmon in swift rivers, or wrestling each other for a juicy piece of elk. It's no wonder we've painted them as the ultimate carnivores. But here's where things get interesting. In reality, brown bears have a remarkably diverse diet. They're true opportunistic eaters, taking advantage of whatever food sources are readily available. This means their diet can range from berries, roots, and insects to fish and mammals. And get this, up to 90% of a brown bear's diet can be plant-based, depending on the season and location. Imagine these powerful creatures munching on dandelions and berries just like a vegan at a salad bar. So, are they really the carnivores we make them out to be? Time to reveal. Are brown bears only interested in a meaty menu? The answer might surprise you. Contrary to popular belief, these furry giants are not solely fixated on feasting on flesh. In fact, brown bears are omnivores, which means they enjoy a delightful mix of meat and plant-based foods. Imagine this, a bear sitting down to a smorgasbord of nature's bounty. Picture them munching on tender shoots, juicy berries, and crunchy nuts as they relish the variety in their diet. Yes, they do indulge in fish and small mammals, but a large portion of their meals actually comes from the plant kingdom. From the wild grasses of the spring to the berry bonanza in the summer, they are nature's true gourmets, relishing the seasonal buffet the wilderness provides. So next time you think of a brown bear, don't just picture them as ferocious hunters, but also as connoisseurs of vegetarian cuisine. So it turns out, brown bears might be more into vegetarian cuisine than you thought. Ever heard that brown bears hibernate because they are lazy? Now that's a chuckle-worthy myth. Contrary to popular belief, our fuzzy friends don't just curl up for a long winter's nap because they've got nothing better to do. Hibernation is actually a vital survival strategy, not a sign of laziness. During the harsh winter months when food is scarce, hibernation allows brown bears to conserve energy. They enter a state of torpor, which is a bit like a deep sleep, reducing their metabolic rate, body temperature, and other bodily functions. This isn't a quick nap we're talking about, folks. It can last up to 7 months. That's like sleeping through almost an entire school year. So, while it might look like brown bears are just hitting the snooze button for half the year, they're actually pulling off an incredible biological feat. So the next time someone tells you that bears are lazy, you can set them straight. Are brown bears really just the ultimate sleepyheads? No way, they're survival experts. So, are brown bears hibernating out of laziness, or is there more to the story? Now, if you're imagining our fuzzy friends snoozing away in their dens just because they can't be bothered to face the chilly winter air, you might be barking up the wrong tree. Hibernation, my friends, is not a bear's version of a lazy Sunday afternoon. It's a crucial survival strategy that has evolved over thousands of years. You see, during the cold winter months, food becomes scarce. The berries, insects, and salmon that brown bears feast on throughout the summer and fall are nowhere to be found. So instead of wasting energy on a fruitless search for food, these savvy creatures curl up in their cozy dens and tap into their stored body fat to survive. Their heart rate slows, their body temperature drops, and they enter a state of deep sleep. So, laziness? I think not. Turns out, there's a method to their sleep madness after all. From downhill races to vegetarian diets and hibernation, we've covered some interesting territory. We've taken a romp through the woods, debunking some hilarious myths about our furry friends, the brown bears. Did you ever imagine that these seemingly ferocious beasts are actually mostly vegetarian? Or that their infamous hibernation is not just an extended snooze session, but a crucial survival strategy? We've also put to rest the laughable notion of bears racing downhill. They might enjoy a good frolic, but they're not exactly training for the Bear Olympics. These misconceptions about brown bears might have seemed plausible, but, as we've discovered, the truth is often funnier and more fascinating. We've learned that behind the myths, there's a creature that's unique, surprising, and full of unexpected quirks. So the next time you think about brown bears, remember, there's more to them than meets the eye.